There's only one way to go now. A lady who knows everything about immigration talks international editor. We say a very good afternoon to Isabel Oakeshott. Hello, Isabel. How are you?
Hello. Good to see you on this not raining Monday afternoon. I've just flown in from Romania, of all places, and an extraordinary thing happened as I landed at Heathrow. There was no rain on the windows of the plane.
Absolutely shocking to believe that this could possibly happen. But lovely to have you on. And how lovely to have you on the day we've gone back to good old-fashioned common sense, family values, and none of that woke rubbish. So much to throw at you. I will do migration to start with, because you will be able to explain this to me and the listeners and the viewers more. British and Irish tension today. I think centring, Isabel, on the fact that certain migrants are allegedly being put off by Rwanda, don't know if it's true, and they're heading to the Republic of Ireland through Northern Ireland because it's very easy to get there. Kevin O'Sullivan, don't do that, it puts me off. Now the Republic of Ireland, who are still in the EU, didn't vote for Brexit because saying, well, you better take these people back. To which Richie Sunak has finally grown a pair and stood up and said, well, if that's the case, France, who we give 500 million quid to, you better have some back as well. Your thoughts, Isabel Oakeshott?
My thoughts are that that was an absolutely brilliant explainer of what was a kind of fairly, on the face of it, quite a complicated situation. This is a complete political gift for Rishi Sunak, because so far, nothing that he's done has stopped the absolute tidal wave, forgive the pun, of migrants crossing the channel. And he is staking everything on the success of this controversial Rwanda policy. As everybody knows, no flights have yet taken off carrying any asylum seekers to Rwanda. But now, here we go, a lovely little present for Rishi Sunak, taking the pressure off him. It emerges that allegedly, because they're afraid of the prospect, distant though it may be, of being sent to Rwanda, refugees who managed to get themselves here, or so-called refugees who managed to get themselves here, are making their way via Northern Ireland into the Republic of Ireland, where they think they'll be safer and not end up being sent to Africa. And so this allows Rishi Sunak to say that his Rwanda scheme is already working, because it's basically encouraging the migrants just to use Britain as a kind of stop en route. And it also puts the pressure on the EU and makes it look like Britain is actually getting something beneficial out of Brexit. So lovely little bit of news for Rishi Sunak today. How long it'll last for him, I don't know.
My point's really very simple, and you and I haven't really talked about this in any great detail. I've sort of been ploughing a furrow of this for months. Do I have much confidence in the idea of Rwanda? No. Do I have a hatred of the fact that there's 180,000 people on a waiting list to be processed? I don't understand how the United Kingdom in 2024 that could sort out a poster. Do you remember the passport thing? You couldn't get a passport for love nor money. They sent 1,000 extra people and sorted it. I have no idea about why they should be processed abroad. I don't know why we can't do it, why we can't get that. People say to me all the time, oh, but the Home Office isn't. Well, get it bloody well fit for purpose. Get it sorted. Make this country do what this country should be good at. But, you know, over and above all of that, it's nice, as you said, and probably far too late for him, to see somebody with a bit of backbone saying you can have some of these people back. I've said it repeatedly, Isabel. We proved that we are a caring country with the way we behaved with Ukraine, and that was right. But it's a bit like the benefits thing we'll talk about. They are taking the mickey, a lot of people, and unless we do something about it, the situation isn't going to get any better. And I want politicians of whatever party to stand up and say something that I can believe, and something rather than just a headline or a box ticking exercise that happens so often. And with Sunak, genuine disappointment. When he came to it 2 years ago, I'm going to change everything. Not really. Hasn't done anything, in my humble.
Well, he's now sounding really tough on illegal migration, and he's saying exactly the kind of things that voters, his own voters, natural Tory supporters, have been wanting to hear for the last few years.
Why has it taken him so long, Isabel? Why has it taken him so long?
Well, I mean, search me. Talk about a political death wish. In my view, he should have been saying this, and it would have not been difficult to say this literally the moment he came into Downing Street. I mean, he talked about stopping the boats, but he never put in place what was necessary to make that happen. So the question is whether this turns out to be any more than a confected row. I mean, it's not really a great look for Britain if there's a stream of asylum seekers that can be seen trooping through Britain into Northern Ireland and then on to the Republic of Ireland. It's not a great look for us, but you know what? It suits us quite well. You know, someone else's problem. As far as the British voter is concerned, probably most of them don't care much if those asylum seekers end up in the Republic of Ireland.
What do you say to the people who say, I've always wanted to ask you this question, you know, when you're talking, we'll talk about benefits in a second, when you're talking about immigration and people say, but everybody, 80% of them are refugees and they come from war-torn countries. And I sit there till I'm blue in the face going, hold on a minute. You get a tent on a beach in France. You get a 4-star hotel and however much money a week in England. If you've paid your taxes and you're struggling in the United Kingdom, you're going to be hacked off about that. But whenever I say it, people apart from Mike and the people on this wonderful station, they go, well, you're being unfair to the genuine refugees. But we proved we know how to behave with Ukraine. What would you say to those people, Isabel?
What I would say to those people is get real. Drop your hashtag be kind, bleeding heart propensities and look at the facts. The facts are that these people are all coming from France. There is no war in France. There's no persecution in France. Anyone who comes over the channel in a boat or comes on the back of a lorry from Calais to Dover is not fleeing war and persecution. That is an absolute fact. And furthermore, I strongly suspect that the actual majority of them didn't start by fleeing war and persecution or any other of the many things that they claim, whether it's that they've suddenly found their Christian faith and they're being persecuted in a Muslim regime, or that they've suddenly discovered that they're rather more fluid in their sexuality than they were at home. So much of this is a convenience. And look, I don't blame anyone for searching for a better life. I think we'd all try and do it if a government like the UK made it so easy and we happen to live in a place where there aren't many opportunities. But it is incumbent on the government of this country to sort those claims, the nonsense from the truth. And within all of those claimants, yes, there will be a number of people who genuinely have come.
Not 80%, though. Not 80%.
Not 80%. And where does that 80% figure come from? It comes from the number of asylum applications that are granted. And a false conclusion is being drawn by people that just because the claims are granted, that means they were actually justified. When we actually know, because I've read the detail of how the claims are assessed, that there are 1,001 reasons why a claim is rubber stamped. And number one on the list right now is pure inefficiency and a desperate desire just to get rid of the paperwork. It is a lot easier on officials under pressure just to say yes, nod more people through, than it is actually to go through the torturous process of saying no. The way the rules work, it makes it really, really very difficult for officials, however professional they are, to actually turn down claims.